Welcome to highlights from the final round of the WTCR Esports Championship as we would head to the Slovakia ring, and fittingly it was Bence Banki on pole position on home soil. A decent start from him down towards the first corner would see him leading from Alessandro Ottaviani and his teammate Alexander Dornadon on the return to the WTCR Esports Championship. Gianmarco Viducci with a lot of work to do to move up to second in the championship as he was losing out points to his rival Alessandro Ottaviani. A bit of a squeeze with Juan Manuel Gomez trying to get around the outside, not only of him but of Florian Haase as well, heading through turn 3 at the double apex right hand hairpin. There would be switches as well as Haase would get down the inside of his teammate Max Pfeiffer, almost opening the door for Viducci as well. The top three were starting to pull away from the grouping behind, allowing it to be a fight just between Banki, Alessandro Ottaviani and Alexander Dornadon. However, Dornadon had his eyes on second position, straight down the inside with quite a strong move on Alessandro Ottaviani. The door would be open for Ottaviani to come back through, but the gap had opened up to over a second to our race leader. Gianmarco Viducci now getting the elbows out down the inside of Max Pfeiffer as it's all starting to kick off. Florian Haase having a little bit of contact with Petr Pliška as well, and that contact would carry its way through the central section of the circuit. Once again, more bumps and squeezes from them as Florian Haase would make his way past Petr Pliška, making his way up the order. Would have a slowdown of some description though, and Pliška would be able to get through, but not only him, it would also drag Viducci through as well as Gomez. Gomez was trying to make a move on Gianmarco Viducci, making it almost 3 wide through turn 1. Petr Pliška on the outside would actually lose the drive on the exit, allowing Gianmarco Viducci to make his way up the order inside the top 5. However, Viducci would have a few problems coming into that double apex right-hander at turn 3. With a bit of contact from the Fordzilla duo behind, Viducci would lose out to one, and then to the other as well. Gomez making his way past, and then also Florian Haase as well down the inside in the central section, and Gianmarco Viducci was going backwards. A frustrating lap for him, but it wasn't just there where all the battles are happening. The final position inside the all-important top 10 for that reverse grid pole was just heating up. Mrak out wide with a bit of a slow run as well. It would be Jack Keithley moving up to 10th position, and Pinces also coming through. Hucek trying to make his way through, and then this cutback absolutely phenomenal from Adam Pinces to make his way up to 10th position. A bit of a mistake from Gianmarco Viducci heading into the final portions of the race. Pfeiffer would make his way back through, but eventually the door would be back open for Gianmarco Viducci to get down the inside and retake that position from Pfeiffer. But look at the front. Once again, what a way to seal a championship. Bence Banki victorious again in WTCR Esports. And on to the final race then, with Pinces starting from pole position, Noj alongside, and Gianmarco Viducci in third, looking for second in the championship race as well, as they would head their way down through the first corner. A nice tidy start from those in the final reverse grid of the season. Pinces still able to hang on to the race lead. It was behind where we saw Florian Haase down the inside of his teammate Max Pfeiffer into turn 2, opening up the opportunity for Juan Manuel Gomez to get to the outside and Pliška to get to the inside. This very odd incident for Fordzilla though would see both of them exit stage left and be dropped right the way down the order. Gianmarco Viducci going on the attack early as we ride on board with Pfeiffer, getting to the outside of Noj and just making it stick through the midway part of the circuit. Pfeiffer gave it a good go as well, but then Pfeiffer was making it stick down into turn 1. Noj almost trying to hang around the outside as they would race their way up towards turn 2 and then down into the hairpin. It would be Pfeiffer getting his way through, almost Haase as well. They would remain side by side, but thankfully for David Noj, he was just about able to keep Florian Haase at bay, but only by the smallest of margins. A bit of a mistake from Adam Pinces would open the opportunity for Gianmarco Viducci to sneak one down the inside. This for the race lead, Viducci taking it, and that would very much help in his race for second in the championship. Wasn't done, of course, as Adam Pinces would get down the inside once again, trying to get his way back into the race lead that he'd held over the opening portion of the race, but it would work out for the 46 of Gianmarco Viducci. A little bit of a tap over the rear end heading into the hairpin as we head into that final sector of the racetrack, but still the Italian was just about able to hang on. Every time they got into a corner though, Adam Pinces was giving it a look, was trying to find his way past, was trying to channel something down the inside. Was this more in defence or was it more in attack of Viducci? Because Pfeiffer was sat there in the background. All Viducci knew was that there was a car down the inside, but the outside line through turn 1 would just about work out for Viducci, just about to hang on to the race lead. There was a switch though in the background, as we said about Noj looking backwards. He certainly had to do so, but this time he had to look forwards because Haase had made the move around the outside of the double apex right-hander, and the 67 would move his way up the order. Next up would be Champion Bence Banky in the number 33 down the inside of Noj and working his way up the order. Couple of hits in the background as Axel Vermeulen was moved out of the way by Alessandro Ottaviani, who knew he had to do more in this race. His teammate was leading, but that was also for the fight for second in the championship for him as well. Was his teammate be leading for too much longer as Pincech would almost completely misjudge turn 3, almost clearing out Gianmarco Viducci, but he lost out in the process. Out wide was Alexander Dornadon as he would head into the pit lane, giving a much needed position to Alessandro Ottaviani as he would work his way forward, but he had a lot more work to do. Bence Banky now behind his teammate of Pfeiffer, who would make his way past Adam Pincech. Pfeiffer dragging a Dur Esports train up to the rear end of Gianmarco Viducci. Bence Banky was not able to follow his way through. Then there was this as Alessandro Ottaviani would almost get to the outside of Noj, but then Vermeulen super aggressive down the inside, chucking Noj off of the circuit, giving the position to Alessandro Ottaviani. There would be a switch for the race lead though in the final portion. Haase down the inside going into the first corner, but the up and under for Gianmarco Viducci was all coming up him in this race as he would depart the final corner. Gianmarco Viducci would secure second of the championship with a victory for himself, crossing the line at the front of the final race of the WTCR Esports Championship.